Welcome to the Being Your Own CEO Success Circle. This morning we're going to talk about Zoom apps. And before we get into our discussion, perhaps it would be a good idea to introduce ourselves. So let's see, who was here first? I think it was you, David.
Yes, I was here first, complaining about my phone and about my notifications. Anyway, that's for a different day at a different time. Um, I'm Dave Flannery. I'm with Affordable Websites for Small Business. Trying to read that backwards is fun. Um, and I'm in Rock Falls, Illinois, where it's presently cooled off finally, and we're in the low 80s today in Fahrenheit wise, and was able to have my windows open in the morning and get fresh air instead of the air conditioning. So that was a good thing. We are streaming quite fine on YouTube and on the website. I don't know about the others.
Well, I'm glad you're here. My goodness, when I hear you talking about air conditioning, I'm sure glad I live where I do. This part of Canada is the most temperate place you could ever ask for. It's rarely too hot and rarely too cold. It's really, well, I guess that's why we live here, isn't it, Fred? Oh dear.
Like San Diego when I lived down there. It was strange. We would get people come in the middle of winter and they're expecting to be in shorts and short sleeve shirts, and it's 60 degrees out. And then they come in the summer and it's 70 degrees. It never gets really hot.
Oh, yeah.
That's that ocean current.
Yeah, it's lovely to have that sort of temperate. Yeah.
Vivek has that same thing. He has the ocean current that comes up through Iceland and Greenland and it comes down to England, correct?
All right. Okay, Vivek, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Namaste. My name is Vivek Anand. Literally, it means wisdom and happiness. I am proud to share my belief with Steve Jobs and Leonardo da Vinci, who said simplicity is the ultimate in sophistication. I aim to bring time-tested wisdom and happiness together into your business and life by unifying, simplifying, and amplifying simple technology and tools. Wake Technology is my company. Together, let us wake up our potential. Yes, I am in England. Reading is the city or town. It is supposed to be a city, but it's not. It's there is some strange way places are classified as cities in UK, and it is something to do with the church and whatever. But anyway, I'm not going to go into that. But yeah, it doesn't depend on the population nor the area or something else. But anyway, the weather has been quite good. And yeah, it's been a busy week, and I think it's going to be busy next few days as well. So yeah.
Right on. Well, and thank you for helping me with the little issue we had yesterday, and we still have some things to look at today. So always
Yeah,
appreciate your help. Yeah.
it's Google which moves the cheese.
I
So
know.
we have to keep after the cheese.
Yes. Which I didn't. And so, therefore, anyway. Thanks. So, Fred, how would you like to introduce yourself?
Certainly, I'm Fred Jones, the creator of Our Future Leaders, where we assist young people to gain communication and leadership skills that will assist them become the leaders that our world needs. I'm currently in Langford. I've changed locations. I was in another place in Langford. Now currently with 5 dogs. But next week I'll be back to 1 dog and 1 cat long as COVID-19 allows the people to go to Africa,
Mm.
in that house with 7 bedrooms, 8 bathrooms, myself, and a dog and a cat, which is quite remarkable.
Rattling around in.
Yes. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, I've been there and I've got all the instructions. I have to show up there theoretically on Saturday morning because they're leaving on Saturday. So next week I should be, as long as they're able to leave, and with COVID-19 restrictions,
Yeah.
who knows?
Yeah.
But if that happens, I'll be in a different location again. So, and it's 13 degrees in Langford according to the computer. It's really cooled down quite substantially from the previous weeks.
Yeah. It says 12 degrees here.
Yeah. Well,
Wow.
it says.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, we're back to cooler weather, and the fires are still going, but they're certainly not as bad as they were. Well, there's only 200 and something now instead of 300.
Yeah. Right. Well, thank you, Fred. I'm happy you're here. And Alana, you ran up the stairs just in time. Do you want to introduce yourself?
You must have been downstairs watching me run then. Hi, everybody. My name is Alana, coming to you from Ireland. My company's ALB Digital Marketing Solutions, where I write copy and content for businesses to increase sales and conversions.
Right on. And how are things in your neck of the woods?
The weather's getting a little chillier, and I feel like I'm flying in about 8 different directions these days, between personal obligations and professional ones, and yeah.
Are you planning a trip back to the U.S. soon?
I am. I'm going in mid to late October. I'll be gone about 3 weeks this time, and I'm not working. I'm not taking my laptop. So yeah, trying to get all that
But
organized.
you are taking your phone, I'm guessing.
I'm taking my phone. Yeah, that's actually one of the things I'm looking into right now, is getting a SIM card for the US, and I'm kind of doing some pricing right now and some research into that. So
Right on. Yeah, right on. Oh yes, thank you, David. I did see your hand there, and then I forgot. So go ahead.
Javita says, hello, everyone. Good day.
Hello, Javita.
Good day, Javita. I'm glad you are here. So just by way of finishing off our introductions, my business is being your own CEO and or coaching with LowellAnn, coach at LowellAnn.com. But I'm doing this. I've been doing this Success Circle now for 10 years, I think. And the reason I do it is because I really, really appreciate getting together with other solopreneurs, and hopefully we can share our expertise. There's music playing. Does anybody know where it's coming from?
It's probably from Sesh, maybe. I don't know.
I'm not hearing anything.
Yeah, we are not. Even I didn't hear anything.
Not hearing anything yet.
Well, I'm hearing it, so.
Is it loud or is it just faint?
End rounds. Okay. All right, that's where it's coming from. Isn't that bizarre?
Yeah.
All right, so I will cut short my introduction. So this morning we were just going to do some exploration on Zoom apps. It's 2 or 3 weeks ago. I don't know how, maybe it's a little more. We got notification that Zoom has suddenly included all these apps. So, by way of a beginning, I should mention to you that I'm using one of the apps that we found. It's called Sesh, Sesh. And if you look in your chat box, in chat within Zoom, if you click on it, I think it'll bring up the agenda.
No, I think the chat will be visible to only at that time who are you'll have to send it again, LowellAnn. Because Fred and Alana came in later,
And
so
it's
they
not
won't see it.
showing that. Oh, no, that's interesting. All right. So send. And. Oh, there. Okay, send. There's another little something we didn't know about this. So let's see if that. Oh, I've lost it altogether now. View.
Maybe I can send it.
I sent it already. No, I got it.
Okay.
So it's asking me to use a Zoom app called Sesh, and it says in order to view, I have to use the app.
Mm-hmm.
It says sign in to use Zoom apps.
Yeah.
I'm already signed in, so I'm not going to do that because I don't want to get cut off here. So I might leave that for later.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think I've got that. Oops. Don't want that. I want that. Okay. So that's what this sesh is it allows you to set up an agenda and designate a certain amount of time. So your meeting is X number of minutes long, and then you break it up into sections. And so the whole idea is that you stay on agenda. So what you saw or heard me say, I could hear music playing because we went over the allotted time for participant introductions. So you folks couldn't hear the music, but I could. And so when I clicked on the go to the next activity, the music stopped.
So is this kind of like when someone is accepting an award and they start talking and then they talk too long and then the music starts playing to get them off?
Yes. Yes. So we've been playing with this a little bit yesterday, Vivek and I, and this morning. And so, I mean, not having used it before, there were a number of surprises.
I think one thing I noticed is it still says there are just 2 participants, probably because none of the others clicked on the link,
Right.
for fear of being kicked out of Zoom or whatever. But
No,
there are just 2.
What it says is to view and use Zoom apps, you must sign in to the same account in Zoom Client and Zoom Web. I don't know what that means. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. What does it mean, the same account in Zoom Client and Zoom Web? I have no clue what that means, so I don't know what to do. So I can't see it.
Click on it and see what happens.
No, I click on OK and it just disappears.
Oh.
And then I click on view again and that notice comes up again. Sign in to use Zoom apps. So where do I sign in? What do I do? I've already signed into Zoom. I'm in Zoom.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
So
I don't know what it means.
One of the
I'm the
things,
same as Fred.
yeah.
Pardon?
So what I've noticed is that when you start off a meeting in Sesh, it gives you a link, and it looks like maybe that's the link that I should share with, or you would share with people. And
Dave has something to say.
yes, I know. And so that might be the reason, and I wasn't prepared to do that because I already had everything all set up within Zoom before, so there's a little piece of information we're not sure what to do with. Okay, David, your hand is up.
Yes, we have a new visitor, Matthew. Um, he's saying he's not seeing it, and if one of you could share your screen so we could show it, it would help our YouTube visitors to understand what's going on.
Can you share it, Vivek? Or
Yeah, I can.
Okay. So there is oh, you're showing it for the full screen. Okay. There is what Sesh looks like, and it has the I had put together the agenda beforehand, and so we're actually just playing, trying to figure out how some of these things work, and this is what happens when you're trying something new. Normally, what we do in
And it says two participants here. You see, it says just two.
yeah.
It says me and you, LowellAnn.
Yeah.
Not really, but that's
Yeah.
what Sash
Yeah.
thinks.
Yeah. So there's still going to be a few things that we need to learn about this. I'm not at all certain I would use this on a regular basis for the success circle.
But I think this would be very useful thing for Fred for his
Yeah.
Toastmasters or meetings similar to that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that this was one of the apps that we looked at and we thought about and that might be useful. What I've been looking for in the myriad numbers of apps is items that might be useful to solopreneurs. So that's kind of where we probably should go this morning. But there is one other that is just kind of fun, and I might show you. One of the apps is acquiring all kinds of different virtual backgrounds. So one of the ones that I found that I thought was kind of interesting was this one. So you can see that and when you go into that particular app, it gives you lists and lists and lists. Where's the other one that I found that I thought was kind of funny? No, I guess I removed that one. So I'm going to go back to that one for myself here. But Vivek, can you open the one that you Vivek is showing one of the virtual backgrounds that he found. So can you share that page where you can see all the virtual backgrounds that you get to choose from?
Need to do a bit of rearranging.
Right. There it is.
Okay. No. What's going on? I need to pop this one out.
There it is. So these are all the virtual backgrounds you get to choose from. And when you choose one, it adds it to the list that you already have in Zoom. So Some of them are okay. Some of them don't really make a whole lot of sense. So,
This one, for example, I don't know what that means, but are these two fighting with each other over the poster? I don't know.
yeah,
And
But-
when I click on that, it gives me an option to set the background.
Yeah.
Let me show you what this is about. If I click that, if you look at my background, that's what it is. You
Yeah.
see that those
Yeah.
two people fighting, whatever,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
arguing, or I don't know. And then you can also say remove.
yeah,
If you remove it, all the backgrounds go away. You are back to the green screen.
right. So, I mean, I can see a number of people that would find this useful. My choir, for example, there are all kinds of people that don't do Zoom from a professional perspective. They're just participating in the choir Zoom, and so they might like to just have a picture of a living room or something in their background, especially if they're participating in the Zoom from a place in the house that's not really. Oh, look at the oven with the pies. God. So you can see there are hundreds in there, and you could go down this rabbit hole and play and
Some of them do make sense, some of them don't.
yeah.
This seems like a bathroom.
Yeah. Why would you do that?
Again, this one also is a bathroom.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. But I have seen people sharing and participating in things from a bathroom before. Why they would choose that room to participate? Maybe it's the only room in the house that's quiet, or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, okay. So you can see what you get when you choose the virtual backgrounds.
Do you have to have the green screen behind you?
preferably,
I think if you have a really up to date Chromebook or whatever, I do believe you can have a virtual background without a green screen. But for the most part, yes, you do need a green screen.
it all depends on how good the lighting is where you are. How much light falls on your face versus everything else. So
Yeah. So
Okay.
that was one fun one that we did go and look at. Now I was in there looking, and Vivek is he's on the website right now, the Zoom website, and you can see there's a gazillion different categories in there, and so we were just going through to see how many of them we thought might be useful to a solopreneur. One that I was kind of hoping to do was called AI Note Taker. Well, when I tried to get that one, it popped up and said there's all kinds of people who are standing in line to get this one. So David, I see your hand is up.
Yeah, we've got some chat that we need to go over.
Okay.
Matthew is saying that I use images from Pixabay for my virtual backgrounds.
Mm-hmm.
And he says I like those too.
And Matthew, you're absolutely right. Any of the ones like the one that you see behind me right now, and I believe the same can be said for David and Vivek. Though that's what we did. We created our own and uploaded them into Zoom. But basically, what the this app that we're looking at does, it just provides things that you don't have to create yourself. That's the difference. Yeah. Anything else, David?
Nope, that's, we're up to date. Well, he says he liked those two.
Yeah.
So we're up to date with chat now.
Okay. Right on. So you can see right in front of us right now on screen is Colibri. So I did play with that one yesterday, and what it does is it transcribes the discussion as you go. And I wasn't able to discover until afterward that you could go into the Colibri website and you could see the whole transcription, and you could copy it and download it from there. So
And I think the distinguishing aspect is, I think it says who is saying what. It puts when I spoke, it put my name and then gave the text. When LowellAnn spoke, it put her name, and so I think it would be useful in a meeting where people are talking and you need to take minutes or whatever.
yeah. So David, I see your hand up again.
May not be able to answer my question, but was it pretty accurate?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
Yeah, it was. So while we're speaking about this one, there are several apps in there that tell you that they do transcriptions, and this one, the Colibri, if we had it going and had it up on screen, it would also be useful for anybody who's hard of hearing, so they would be able to follow the conversation without being able to hear. So I thought that one was good. And the other one that I was trying to download was called A1 Note Taker. It records and transcribes and highlights the meeting. And that one, that was the one that I said I tried to download it, and it said it put me in line. It said there were too many people trying to download it right now. So, but there are other apps out and about that are about transcription. One of them that Javita shared with me some time ago was called Otter, and Otter works really well, and I was able to load Otter onto my phone, and so when I'm in a meeting needing to transcribe, I can record with using Otter, and the transcription notes would be available later. That one in Otter is not free. You have to have the premium account in order to be able to do that in Otter. But so that's one of the reasons why I was looking for any of the other Zoom apps that might provide that service without having to pay money. So we've talked about virtual backgrounds and Sesh and Colibri. Okay, another one that that I noticed that could be useful if you are running a group session. You can use SurveyMonkey. Now, I'm sure everybody knows about SurveyMonkey. It sends out a survey. You can create a survey and it sends it out to a whole lot of people, etc. So I'm assuming that SurveyMonkey allows you to do a survey within your Zoom. So that was one that I thought could be useful to anybody who's running an online course. There it is. Yeah. All right. What else did I find? Oh yes. There was another one that I could imagine would be useful depending on what you use, and that was Evernote. So I'm guessing that if you used Evernote here, it would allow you to pull up your own Evernote account and share whatever. So, hey, Vivek, there's Otter right there.
Yeah, yeah.
I wonder if it's click on it and see what it says.
I did.
Oh, I'm
yeah.
sorry. What? Oh, integrates host meeting, etc. Record, but it doesn't tell you whether it doesn't tell you there whether you have to pay for it.
It does say.
Oh yes,
here,
600 minutes of transcription per month. Wow. So maybe
Free.
you can use it from. So that might be worthwhile. A few other things that came up that I looked at. If you were having a one-on-one meeting with somebody, you could embed an agenda. That was one that I saw because I was thinking about solopreneurs. David.
Javit is asking, what is Dropbox Spaces?
What? Say again?
What is Dropbox Spaces?
Oh, she
An
must
app
have
that was
in the
useful.
list that Vivek was sharing. Oh,
Yeah.
don't know. We haven't tried it yet. I mean, as you can see, from what Vivek has been sharing, there are dozens and dozens of them in there, and the best way to figure out is to use it, just as we did with Sesh this morning. So, the thing is that it's for anybody who wants to figure out or get to those. You either need to go to your account in Zoom, zoom.us, I think it is, or open your desktop one, and there's a button there that allows you to download the apps. So get more out of your meetings. Yeah. So there was, I mean, it seems as though there are a number of other things in there that if you happen to be doing a public meeting and you're trying to help people get to know each other, etc. One of them was a virtual business card would allow people to exchange business cards and that's connected to LinkedIn. So that was one item that I thought was interesting. So are you looking for business cards? Okay, AI biz cards. There it is. Voted.
Is the one, or is it? Yes, it is.
Yeah. Auto-generate business cards. Wow. So there would be something that would be sort of interesting to, especially if you're working with people that don't know each other, right?
Mm.
Yeah. There was another one called Ask Away. Hashtag Ask Away, and it was allowed you to put in random questions to help people get acquainted. So again,
This one?
yeah, I think that was it. Well, that one says productivity. Engaging opportunity, randomly generated questions. Yeah, okay. So, there was another one that we never got to see if we could find. Oh yeah, look at that. So, see if you can find that Heyo chat. HEYYO. There it is. Because it said something about lots of emojis and silly things.
Yeah. You can
Yeah.
see them here.
Yeah. Yeah. So that one, I don't know whether it takes over the chat in Zoom or what. So, but as you all can see, there are dozens and dozens and dozens. So, is this another rabbit hole? Yes. So, I'm glad, Javita, you asked about something. I don't know if Vivek, if you want to go back to your list and see if anything pops out to anybody that they would like to see more of. But we're just showing you what comes up when you go into the Zoom and see what's there. There were all kinds of things that were labeled productivity. For sure. Yeah. There's work analytics. Wow. Worklytics. Yeah. But there's Slack and HubSpot, Zoom for HubSpot. So there are a number of things in here that other people use in other aspects. So, but look at that. I mean, there are just dozens and dozens and dozens of them. So I'm thinking that if oh yeah, there was Salesforce. That is one that a lot of other people use. So there I guess it would be determined by what kind of a Zoom you're hosting. What sort of app you might look for. There's Calendar, Google Calendar. We couldn't figure out why that would be there, did we? We never did figure out why you would why would you want to bring in Google Calendar into a Zoom? I guess if you had a meeting and everybody wanted to.
Yeah, you have a meeting to decide on when to have the next meeting.
I guess.
I remember having that problem when I was working in. We'd have meetings to decide when we.
Isn't that what Google Meet is for?
Not necessarily.
No.
No, I mean, the question LowellAnn asked was, why would anybody want to bring up the calendar? It is to
Within a Zoom.
within a Zoom to decide when to have the next meeting. You
Alana,
look at everybody's calendar and say when everybody is free and say, okay, this day we are free. Okay, we'll
Yeah.
have a meeting.
Yeah. So, Alana, Google Meet is an alternative to Zoom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You probably are hearing music again, LowellAnn.
No.
It says
No.
40 seconds,
It's over.
42 seconds over.
Yeah, it does. Okay. So, what if I go to next activity?
That would be Fred's last word. Ooh.
Oh, I'm hearing music now.
Yeah, I think when it finishes, yeah.
Okay. So I put it back. So I don't know. I mean, we were just curious about all of these things, and I mean, there was no way, given the numbers that are in there, there's no way we could cover all of those. But we just thought we would show you what it looks like, and talk about the few that we did look at, and see whether any of you would think to use any of those in any of your Zoom meetings. Yeah. So I guess you have
it probably
to
does need a bit of exploring and
Yeah.
going through several rabbit holes and discovering one that
Well, my observation about all these is that if you're going to use them in an actual Zoom, is to open Zoom yourself, download, bring it in and see if you can discover, like it needs a lot of preparation work for sure. So, I mean, we did a bunch of preparation work on this sesh, and we still didn't know all the pieces until we actually used it. So that's kind of what you're up against.
it's like yeah, you can read about swimming books and books, and for years and years you can read about it, but until you get into the water.
Right. You don't know what it was. Okay, somebody is, oh, there comes Nathan, just as we're about to leave. Okay, so Fred, would you feel like giving a last word?
Certainly, as always. I have a few reservations about what we've seen. First of all, I thought it was wonderful. I wasn't aware of all these apps, so that's a great introduction, and thanks for telling us about them. I am in a situation where, first of all, I can't run a virtual background at all on my computer, and when I try to, it says your system does not support virtual backgrounds. That's the message I get, because it's an old computer, and I don't want to buy another PC because I just bought a Chromebook. Now, that brings other things to view, because on a Chromebook, Zoom operates differently. Then it operates on a phone. Then it operates on an iPad. And once you start introducing these different elements in different environments like that, where people are scattered around the world and sometimes do not have very good internet, which we often come across in when we have international meetings, as we do now, but in some places they don't. So your expectations of people to be able to run these apps is, you got to be careful. That's all I can say, because I cannot run a virtual background even. And why not? Because I have an old computer that I'm running this on, a PC. And the Chromebook, when I get into that in Zoom, I can't find some of these things. And maybe they're there, but I haven't found them yet. And that's what happens with people.
Maybe the app thing may be it may be an attempt by Zoom itself to allow everybody to be able to use these things. Maybe you may be able to use virtual background if you use the app and on the Chromebook. Maybe.
But it adds level, but it adds a level of complexity
Yeah,
And
it does.
honestly, you got to be careful of that, because unless you have everybody on the same page, and what I mean by the same page is, first of all, they can access apps, they're using a device that supports it, and their internet supports it, you end up having more complexity and your meetings fail rather than help them. So that's what my concern is. Now, I was not aware of all these apps, and some of them look fantastic, like that could be appropriate, but in the correct environment. We just had a very large meeting with Agra Speakers International, which is an international convention, and we had Zoom problems, and it was very challenging in many cases. And so I think Zoom is becoming a world unto its own. I think it's fascinating that it has all of these apps, but it's not, what I do when I want to change my background is I put something behind me. Because
Can I chime in a little bit? I know I'm a little bit late to the party and I missed all of this, but I've got some ideas for you folks if you want to hear them.
Go ahead.
Okay. Okay. One of the things, like if you want to put up different backgrounds, a simple way to take care of it is with a green screen. And you can simply get one that's big enough just to cover you and your chair. So you have a little bit. And you just, I don't know how it would work with Zoom, but definitely a green screen is the solution. The computer shouldn't be a problem, in my opinion. I've got an old computer too. I know for sure I could make it work with my machine. But another really simple way of dealing with this, and I've done it, just so you know, is you get some PVC pipe. Just go down to Home Depot or wherever, you get some PVC pipe, and you just cut it to some lengths of maybe 3 feet square, thereabouts, and you just put it into a square, and then you just get a piece of white bed sheet. I'm not kidding, white bed sheet and some simple clamps, and you just stretch it over that white thing, you clamp it to it, and you put it behind you, and you now have a virtual background. Now, when I was on the road traveling a little bit, I was in this one house, and I used the wall, and I used a white sheet against the wall. I tacked it into place with like concrete tacks, and I filled in over the holes in the wall with, white business cards. Ironically, that's all I had. But I put this white sheet up, and then I just sat in front of it, and I had this beautiful white background, and you couldn't tell that it was uber cheap, and it looked great. And so these are some very simple solutions for you guys if you want to do them.
So the most important thing about that, Nathan, is that the background not have any wrinkles in it.
Yeah, it's not difficult to do. I mean, you just stretch it, and if you want to make sure that it's like even tighter, one of the things that I recommend is you spray it with water, and then when it dries, it will tighten.
Of course.
But one of the things about video is that if it's a distance away from you, even if it does have some wrinkles, the video doesn't pick it up, not as much as photography would. And so you can probably get away with even a little bit of wrinkling. So
I've got a sheet behind me. I went and bought a green piece of cloth. Actually, it's not even a sheet, just a
that's perfect. That's all you need.
And a curtain rod, and I hang it up, and it's got wrinkles and everything, but I got good lighting behind me.
Yeah.
And you can't tell it was Zoom.
No, you can't. I mean, but that's the chroma keying effect, and but you're fine.
Yeah, if I was trying to do something like in Camtasia, and trying to eliminate my background, that would be too wrinkled. I'd have to stretch it. But Zoom's got it nailed. It works really good.
Yeah. Well, then the green screen, like if you've got a way of hanging it, that's all that matters. And like you said, even if it's wrinkled, it doesn't matter if it's a green screen.
Right.
It seems to work just fine, and you're perfect proof of that. Cool.
So you can see that I have a green screen behind me.
Yeah.
And it's a perfect gizmo because it rolls down into
Yep. Perfect. Whoever's sharing that. That's exactly,
Yeah.
well, yeah,
Well,
you slip it right over the back of your chair and it creates this circular,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Perfect. Thank you
Yeah.
so much, whoever is sharing. That's exactly what I was talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah. Well, mine rolls down into a like a screen, almost like a screen you would use for showing a video on or whatever. It rolls
Yeah,
instead of rolling up, it rolls down, and it's in a
perfect.
case that you can put away so that it's not in the way when you're not using it.
Yeah, that's awesome. I
Perfect.
like,
It's
yeah,
perfect. Yeah.
this thing on the screen here is just perfect, just great. I want to get one is in the near future. Cool.
But that's the first time I've seen one that fits on a chair.
First time for everything, LowellAnn.
Yeah. But that wouldn't work for my chair because the back isn't high enough.
Yeah. Well,
So
it's like what Dave was
you,
talking about
you
with the background. All you need is like a curtain rod and a couple of
mhm.
stands,
Yeah.
and you can just hang it,
Yeah.
and that will be good enough with the
Yeah.
green screen.
But all of these things are only useful for if you're, if you're all organized in one place. For Fred, who moves around, all these things are probably
I think
not
even,
practical.
but even for Fred, what I showed might work. It's only it says 11 pounds 64 pence. It's under 12
Yeah.
pounds.
I mean, that thing,
if I can comment about that, I've seen somebody with exactly that one that fits over the chair. And if you
yeah.
see the chair swings, and as he moves, sometimes he
Oh,
moves, the whole thing starts moving. So be
Yeah.
oh, okay.
careful of that. Secondly, I have
Good call.
a sheet that I put up, so you're not telling me something that I shouldn't do. I have a project. Well, it's a long thing, but I have a way of rigging it up that I can carry around. So I have a way
Okay,
of
cool.
rigging up this sheet. So I'd use a sheet when I need to. But it's been said to me that just a blank sheet is boring. So why don't you have where you are? So I don't. It depends. I did a workshop recently. I had the sheet up because I just wanted them to concentrate on what I did, and I didn't want them to be looking at the pictures of the fish or whatever is behind me and
Yeah.
stuff
Well,
on the wall.
the blank
And
sheet,
because I move
there's,
around, I have different backgrounds, so I do not have the opportunity to set up anything, but I do have that all of that what you said. But I can assure you, when I click on virtual background, my computer says it does not support virtual backgrounds. I get that from Zoom. Your
okay.
device does not support. So maybe you have an old computer, but I can assure you, I just did it now because I wanted to show you
Yeah,
how
no
bad
worries.
it would work. But I couldn't. It
Um,
wouldn't even let me show the background that I tried
but
to. It just says,
if you're able just to put up a white sheet or something like that, that's good enough. But if somebody's,
yeah.
the comment
So
about
I do all of that.
yeah, the comment about it's boring is like, I don't want to be rude, but I'm going to be in this case. Opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one. And the white sheet thing behind you, that's a standard studio trick. I mean, it's photography. I've been using that for decades.
No, I
And
understand that, but in situations where I've been, where people say you keep moving around, we want to know where you are. That case, it was said, and I accepted that because I
Yeah.
was using just I was always in the same and didn't matter. And I use that for certain times I use the background, other times I
okay,
don't because it's appropriate or not appropriate. That's what I meant.
okay,
So,
no worries.
all of what you're saying is something that I do. It's the only thing is, um, I think what we're talking about were the apps. Adds another level of complexity, and the
Sure.
complexity you
Mhm.
find that it becomes a distraction ultimately, and your objective is avoid distractions when you're communicating
Oh,
and in Zoom.
sure.
And so
Well,
whatever you do,
Mhm.
avoid distractions. And sometimes you need a background because look at where I am now can be very distracting. And people are saying, "What's that on the wall? What's that
yeah,
there?" They're
sure,
not listening to you. So you want to
sure.
avoid distractions, and that I think is the secret of
Mhm.
what we spoke about
Yeah.
Mhm.
today.
And as for the apps, I missed all of that, so I can't comment on
Right.
any of it.
Well, so I think we've kind of come to the end of our discussion. So, what I would like to do is end the recording with a reminder that it's important to do what you love with passion, and to let you know about what next week's topic. The topic title is The Impact of Disposable Email Addresses. So that will be a bit of a discussion about what we think about it, etc. So having said that, I will set the outro to go.